So, the day before that big term paper is due, you finally start and finish. But wait, isn't there something you're missing? Uh-oh, looks like somebody didn't write a conclusion. Worry not, young Timmy, for today we will discover the fascinating world of conclusions. Oh, hi there. My name is Professor Dr. Mortensen, MD, and today's lecture we will be covering the fascinating world of conclusions. To begin, one must fully understand what is a conclusion. According to Merriam-Webster, the definition of a conclusion is a final summation, or the last part of something. Now, this definition can cover a multitude of scenarios. For one, a conclusion to one's own life. However, today we'll be covering conclusions within student-written papers. The conclusion of one's text is meant to sum it all up. In other words, a conclusion complements one's own introductory paragraph. It's just that easy. Whoa, slow down there, Timmy. It's not that easy.
But you just said...
Now. People are rather picky about what they read and don't read. If one were to have a rather dull and boring conclusion, it wouldn't matter how good their paper was.
Well, Timmy, this paper deserves an A. But your lack of effort in the conclusion, F.
Nobody wants to be a Billy. In order for one to go the full mile, you must use one of the interesting key methods of creating a conclusion. Let's take the own life example for instance. A heart attack is a rather dull way for one to conclude one's life. As viewers, we'd much rather see this. You too can create a conclusion that truly draws your reader in with one of these foolproof methods. Method 1. The larger significance conclusion. In this method, the writer draws the reader's attention by stating how important their topic really is. Let's say you're writing a paper on the shortage of kidney beans in Guatemala. You would start by summarizing your work, then elaborate on just how significant the bean shortage is. One could even suggest their own ideas about how to solve the crises. Conclusion Method 2. The scenic or anecdotal conclusion. Use a good story that relates to your paper, one that can give your reader an emotional response. Conclusion Method 3. The hook and return conclusion. If you decided to open your intriguing bean paper with an interesting anecdote, conclude with that same story. Use some form of variation to indicate the significance of the text. And the final, but certainly not least method, Method 4. The old delayed thesis conclusion. When one is writing a paper on a very touchy subject, the reader may already have their own opinion about what they believe is right or wrong.
What? This guy thinks kidney beans are an essential part of life? And here's why? My beliefs are the opposite of this, so I'm not going to read it.
In order to assure that your paper will be at least read, you have to hold back your large tension to give your opinion until you've shown some solid proof. Then, only within the conclusion may you give it so. Well, Timmy, that's it for today's lesson. Now why don't you run along and write up a magnificent conclusion paragraph?
Boy, will I.
And so ends today's fascinating lecture on conclusions.